It is time for Money Power Politics. Tonight, what a difference 4 years can make. In 2021, major companies denounced January 6th and pledged to withhold donations from those who disputed the 2020 election results. Now, many of those very same companies are giving big money to Donald Trump's inauguration fund. And here's what's interesting. The Wall Street Journal points out that in some cases, this marks the first time in over a decade that they're supporting any inauguration fund. Lauren Hirsch is here to discuss. Steelbook reporter for the New York Times, and Rebecca Ballhaus, reporter for the Wall Street Journal's investigations team. She covers campaign finance, politics, and the Trump White House. Rebecca, you've been reporting on this very subject. January 6th, 2021, companies, all sorts of them, said this is not about politics. This is about democracy. They saw a red line and they said, we are out. What specifically changed?
I mean, I think it's very clear what changed, and that's who's in power. And so on January 6th, 2021, Biden had been elected. I don't think anyone at that point thought that there was any real chance of Trump mounting a political comeback in the way that he has. And I think in the lead up to the election, and certainly in the wake of it, we've seen companies realize that they need to be a part of the policymaking process in this White House, and that the way they see to do that is to go to Mar-a-Lago, meet with Trump, and make a hefty donation to his inauguration fund.
You've got some reporting, though, Rebecca, that Trump's team isn't just saying that donations are, for the inauguration. They're really a mea culpa to Trump to say, I'm sorry, I wasn't here for you, with you these last 4 years. I want to be in your good graces again. Explain.
Yeah, I think that that's certainly been made very clear by Trump's aides and also by Trump himself. I mean, Trump is clearly relishing all the attention he's been getting at Mar-a-Lago. He's been saying, everybody wants to be my friend now. And I think for his aides, some of them, are even rolling their eyes at this idea that corporate CEOs think that they can make the last 4 years go away by making a donation to his inauguration fund, especially one of about $1 million or so. So I think they're clearly relishing this sort of rush to get back in his good graces. And it certainly remains to be seen how effective some of these efforts will be. But it's been pretty striking. I mean, to give you one example, after January 6th, Facebook had suspended Trump's account, accusing him of inciting violence. And then just a couple of weeks ago, Mark Zuckerberg was at Mar-a-Lago and put his hand over his heart as the January 6th choir is singing over the loudspeaker the national anthem. And to be fair, they didn't announce who was singing, but I think it shows you sort of just how far things have come.
I want to stay on exactly that, Lauren, because social media companies after January 6th were under huge scrutiny. All of those CEOs were in the hot seat. Questions about best practices, content moderation, hate speech. Was there content on their platforms that led to January 6th, right? It was after January 6th, Donald Trump got tossed from Twitter, right? Fast forward, Zuckerberg wasn't just there giving money 2 weeks ago, okay? They don't even have content moderation teams. Elon Musk obviously runs Twitter. He is Donald Trump's number 2, first man in, it's like, I don't want to say he's the first lady. He obviously running Doge. And just today, Meta announces Dana White, right, head of the UFC, on their board, and their new head of policy, which is, all the D.C. jam, is a GOP strategist. I mean, it's extraordinary how much it's changed for social media companies. And it's not like they had a bad last 4 years.
These companies didn't want to be involved in politics, and they kind of felt pushed into it, particularly, during the pandemic when there was already a lot of social uprising. There was a lot of pressure from their employees at that time to take a voice. That's gone now. It's a completely different environment. The pandemic has ended. There's DEI backlash. The employees are much quieter now.
But why are the employees quieter, right? Because lots of CEOs 4 years ago, they don't want to talk about politics. They just want their employees happy, their customers happy, and their shareholders happy. But 4 years ago, even if they liked Trump, wanted to keep their mouths shut because they were going to face huge employee backlash. Where has that gone?
Well, think about it. They would go on Twitter to complain if they were unhappy at work. Now, who owns Twitter? Or X? It's Elon Musk. And let me tell you, I think a lot of CEOs are almost as afraid of Elon Musk as they are of Trump. And if they do something that will upset Trump, you could have Musk going after them. So the dynamics are changed and the pressure points have changed. And I think you're seeing that playing out in how they're maneuvering this situation.
Rebecca, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's just an incredibly different environment, sort of in the same way that you saw, Democrats agree to show up to this inauguration and people sort of just putting up less of a protest this time around, sort of, indicating that they feel like his win this time is more valid because of the election results. I think, these CEOs just feel like they don't have any choice but to sort of become a part of this process and get in the mix.
But isn't it strange, because January 6th, right, take politics out of it, they all said that January 6th was about democracy. And it's not like, right, most companies out there for the last 4 years, look at their stock. Fortune 500 companies did extraordinarily well over the last 4 years. So what is it that they're looking to get away from? Is this really a DEI play, or is it is it a DEI rejection, or is it they simply don't want to deal with the wrath of Donald Trump?
There's also something really practical, which was January 6th. Trump had clearly lost the election, and they were hoping he would leave after having lost.
Forever.
He's now won the election. He has Congress, and they're kind of looking at it very practically, saying he's going to be in office and we need to work with him.
And he's vengeful.
Yes. Or, some people would say he's transactional or some combination of the two. So
I don't think to say he's vengeful is an overcharacterization. He seeks revenge on people who don't stand with him.
And I think, the first time Trump was in office, a lot of CEOs didn't know how to navigate that. They didn't know how to navigate his particularly transactional nature. Now that he's back, I think they've been to the show. They know how it works. The social pressure is a little bit less. And so they're just kind of buying a ticket, literally, actually.